Hello, hello. Happy Friday. How we doing, Johnny Mo?
I'm pretty well. You?
Good, good. Sounds like you've been busy today, or this week, or this month, and
Always busy. Always something to do.
always something, always creating, right?
Always creating. Listen, that's one of the things I do create a lot. There's a lot of projects going on, a lot of things handle. You know what I mean? A lot of things to stay organized with, and that's why I love Trello.
Yep.
I can dump it all in there. I can have different boards for different people and different projects that I'm working on, and it all keeps me organized. One of the hardest things I think for a lot of people to do, Harrison, is stay organized. Consistency.
hmm
Consistency can only come from organization. It can't come from disorganization.
No, no, and I appreciate your use of Trello. I am trying like crazy to get myself on board with Trello, and it's different than what I'm used to. It's different than how my brain works sometimes, but I do
Yeah.
find it's helpful the more I go in there and attempt to use it. So I'll get there one day.
Trust the plan.
Yeah.
Drink the water.
And I to the topic of creation real quick. I was listening to a podcast today. I listened to Business School by Sharon Srivatsa. I think that Sharon's a very smart business guy, a lot of real estate background, president of Real Brokerage now. But he had an interesting thing. He's got 5 things he does every day, and he actually keeps track of them like a streak. And one of them is he creates an asset, and
Mhm.
and so every day he's trying to create an asset, whether that's a podcast, video clip, sales funnel, piece of collateral. His goal is to create something every day. Um, and that's one of the 5 things he insists on doing every day. And I thought, well, that's actually smart because what he came back with is I'm not necessarily creating something new. In some cases, I've got something that I'm reusing, or I'm getting a clip from here, or I'm taking that snippet, or but I'm trying to make sure that there's something new that I put out to the world every day, just to
Mhm.
continue to stay relevant and also stay fresh and in front of people. So I thought that was pretty cool. That is something that he personally has as a daily requirement.
Man, I'll tell you what, and I say this often. I think people need to spend 1 hour per day, or budget 1 hour per day. So if that means it's 5 hours all on a Friday, then it's 5 hours all on
Sure.
a Friday, of content creation, unique content creation, um, creative and authentic content creation, right? And that's what Sharon's doing, and every leader on that level will do the same thing. They're creating content of value with intent. They're not making mindless stuff. Nothing drives me nuts more than when I'm scrolling mindlessly through TikTok and I see blah 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 realtor or real estate with blah blah blah, and they're, I don't know, doing something risque just to get the views, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
no matter who no matter what, don't just go to like a sexual nature or anything else like that, but even just doing something stupid. And it's just like, yeah, you get a bunch of views, but is that what you want? Is that the reputation that you want? Right.
Yep.
So if you can get a habit of using Trello and organizing some rhythms, and every day you're going to create a short every day, and for it doesn't have to be every day, right?
Mhm.
But for a short, but if you can create a couple of shorts a week, if you can create a webinar once per week, if you can create a cool meme or something of importance that will elicit or generate a conversation versus just likes. I mean, to me, that I think everybody should be spending a little bit of time there.
Yep.
Even blogs, spending a little time,
Yeah.
not just copy and pasting. Somebody gave me a tool to use the other day. They said, "Oh, take a look at this. This is really cool." And I said, "What is it?" I went, I filled out a few questions. About a half hour later, I got this blog written, and I could tell that it was all AI. I ran it through Originality AI, and it came back as 100% AI. I'm like, that anybody can do that.
Mm.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's not being unique and creative. Now, that's not to say don't use AI.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Know how to use AI. That's a different conversation.
Yep. Yeah. And one point I like that Sharon made in that same podcast, and this will be a good segue to our first topic of the day, is he made the comment of he's building brand with the thought of his future self in mind. And he said, what I mean by that is I'm building my brand so that future, he calls him Uncle Ron, my future self benefits from it. He goes, because I create a piece of content every day. I create something every day. And that oftentimes plays into the whole brand conversation. But because I've created things every day for the last 10 years, He's like, I still have sales funnels that people come in through. I still have podcasts people listen to and reach out to me. I still have videos I publish that people engage with and, end up connecting with me from. He goes, but because I've continued to put things out there over and over and over again, um, you know, myself today is benefiting from what myself 5 years ago did, 3 years ago did, a year ago did, a week ago did. And I'm just continuing to layer more opportunities to get in front of people. And that's why he views creation as so important. And that gets us right into what we've been talking about a lot lately, which is, personal branding and digital marketing, being able to put yourself in the way of all that online traffic and doing so over a period of time where you continue to leave those assets out there. People continue to find them and engage with you long after you've made them.
Mm.
And I know that's a huge component of why some of these, it's a great example of, does Nike make the best shoe out there? Maybe, maybe not, but everybody knows Nike. Does Coca-Cola make the best soda out there? Maybe, maybe not, but everybody knows Coca-Cola. They're everywhere. They're on TV. You can't get away from them. You know them. I used the example last week of Ryan Serhant. We all know Ryan Serhant. We've all read his books. We've all seen his Facebook ads and his YouTube channel and all these things. But again, it's just media stuff. He just continues to put stuff out in front of us, and you continue to see him, and you continue to engage with him. And now, because of that, you know who he is. Like when you think of New York real estate, boom, Ryan Serhant comes to mind. And that's the power of personal branding. And a lot of people right now are worried about where the next deal is going to come from. Should I switch brokerages? Where should I be? Should I be on a team? And really, none of that matters if you're focused on putting yourself, you, not the brokerage, in front of that traffic and getting in front of people.
Yeah, I have to laugh. I was laughing greatly when you were talking about Sharon, with what he said, that do something that your future you will thank you about, because he must be reading my emails.
Yeah.
Or because the script that I had written today for you was it ends this way: I can only help you if you help yourself. Click the link below and invest in your brand. Your future self will thank you.
Yep.
So I just find it funny that I had written that, but here you are listening to it in Sharon's podcast, and is 100% right.
Yep.
And so, that's the legacy. That's your brand legacy that you're building, your digital and brand legacy. I like to call it your online digital library, right? Your blogs. To me, blogs are the most important. More so than the videos and stuff like that on Insta or TikTok or stuff. Blogs, because blogs, if they're done right, you can have the video in them. They can rank on SEO. You can share them, use them. You can have people that are pixelated from them. You can use them in ads, right? So to me, blogs, I think, are absolutely vital.
Mm-hmm.
The videos are great too, but again, with Gary Vaynerchuk, I got him up on my screen right here. I have this right on the Evolution Media website about Explore My Town. Notable quotes by Gary Vaynerchuk: attention is your single greatest asset. Reputation is the ultimate currency. It comes down to how much value you can bring the audience. You need to think of yourself as a media company and not just a real estate company. I find that he said this one at Inman. I find it truly baffling that the real estate industry on the individual broker level does not understand that they need to become the digital mayor of their town.
Yep.
So we sit here and talk about it. We don't just talk about it. We built a company around it. Right. We actually practice this ourselves. We have we have a bunch of partners around the country practicing it too. Right. And some are having amazing success and does point their finger to us being the catalyst that helped them get over difficult humps in their life. Okay. And position them as one of the best in the market now. So what we do isn't anything new. There is nothing new under the sun, right? There's nothing new under the sun. All we do is offer the leverage, the confidence, put the pieces together, because there's so many pieces to it that real estate agents need to know, have to have for their business being done. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're the ones that should be doing it. They should have a basic understanding about what it is that they need and they want, and then delegate that out. What we do is just one part. There's also Google and LSA and all these other things. There's ads and the creation aspect, the websites. There's so many things.
Yep.
But Sharon's reading my emails.
Yeah, I mean, and I've said it many times too, and I know you feel the same way. It's about what are you doing today that benefits your future self? And that comes in a lot of forms. It can be, how are you building your brand? How are you generating leads? But also can be, how are you investing or saving your money? How are you, planning your future? How are you handling your relationships? Like all of that feeds into what happens down the road. But ultimately, I put an example in our real estate community leaders Facebook page the other day of a video that one of our partners, Darren Dickensheets, made of a really popular lunch spot in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Within a couple days, he had over 5,000 views, a whole bunch of comments, local people that are like, "Love your videos. You should go here next." Like, he's interviewing the owner. It was really, really well done. But because of that, he's now in front of so many people in that community, literally by just going into a restaurant, showing what they do, talking to the guy behind the counter. I go back to, this is not rocket science. It's not like ridiculously difficult. Um, but if you will commit to doing it and follow the direction and guidance, it is insanely powerful. That the power of video and how many people see you. And like I look at, how many people I've had come in to me through video. And I don't even, and I'm not even like producing video like a Darren is. Like I'm clipping things like this, and I'm doing some shorts and all that. Like I'm not doing some of that bigger stuff, and I'm just starting to now. But even the shorts, even the little clips, even the little reminders and all that stuff, and just the tips, tricks, hints, FAQ type stuff you put out there, people are watching. People are watching. You're back to your 1-9-90 rule. There's a lot of people that are watching that over time, and maybe they don't engage today or tomorrow or the next day or maybe for a year, but then there will be the time when they do. And that's when you start to get into that 90% of people that are out there lurking, as you would call it.
So it's funny because you just tied a whole bunch of things in, and let's just go back to the original part about Sharon was creating these pieces about future tomorrow and everything that you just said. And I'm going to tie it to, and we use this example, and I love you. I use this example specifically because we were doing exactly this when it happened. But as a result of putting a video out 6-8 months ago about investment properties, you received a voicemail
Mhm.
while we were sitting here doing a live. You showed me the transcription of
Yep.
it. Must have been Google Voice probably.
Yep.
And, the person's interested in getting investment assets at the beach, right? You know what investment assets at the beach are, right? Everybody. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
we're talking some
Not not
scratch.
cheap.
Yeah. So as a result of doing that work prior and having it out there, it was found by who it was intended to be found by. That's the beauty of the way the whole system just works, right? Um, and now you have a bona fide qualified lead. I don't know if anything has transpired further from that
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, it's there no complaints there. And I got another message today from somebody who found an old post I had put on Bigger Pockets. Reached out about a market just north of where I live, asking if I worked in that area and if I could potentially help them in their search for a 3 unit or a 4 unit.
Oh,
So
nice.
but honestly, like the Bigger Pockets website, I haven't been active on that site in probably a year, because I just, not a lot of stuff was coming off of it, but still randomly, that's the second time this year somebody's come in off that website off of some old post I put out there,
Mhm.
wondering if I could help. And in one case, it was for property management, and they're now a client of our property management company. In one case, it was real estate, and who knows, maybe they'll end up becoming a real estate client. But again, like I put a post out there a year ago on a site I haven't even been on since then, and I'll still occasionally get somebody that finds it and reaches out because again, I think of content as this massive web, this massive net. You put this giant net out there, and if you position it correctly where the traffic of people are, they get caught in that net. They get caught in that web. And some people you kind of take out and cast off to the side because they're not the right fit for you or they got there accidentally. But a lot of those people stay. A lot of those people come into that ecosystem, come into that net, that web, and stay and continue to engage and watch and then follow along. When the time comes, they raise their hand and they want to work with you. And that's the power of personal branding. That's why people like Ryan Serhant don't compete for a lot of their listings. I'm sure people just call and say, "I want you to do this." Ken Posick, I'm sure, doesn't compete for a lot of his listings down there. I'm sure he just gets the call of, "Hey, we want to work with you." But again, like it requires time, requires commitment, but it's all lead generation. And the beauty of it is you're not just going to do it once and it goes away. You're going to do it once and it lives forever.
No, and I can promise you that the tools that are coming, the technologies that are coming,
Mhm.
the kind of money that's backing these things is going, the pendulum isn't going to swing, it is swinging. It has
Mhm.
left its holder.
Yeah, it's
And
en route.
in everything that we talked about, my mentor and he's more than a mentor to me. He's one of the, probably not, if not the smartest guy that I know, Saul Klein.
Oh, I
He and
thought you were
I
talking about
talk.
me. Sorry.
No, no, you're on the list. You're on the short list though. The short list of the long list.
Yeah.
Um, anyways, we constantly talk, and just to put into perspective, Saul was, I believe, either CEO or president at the company that pretty much made syndication possible, so allowed IDX to actually flourish and exist. And he was there at the table with Realtor.com, and tried to get NAR to understand it, and the agents to understand the power of websites. And this is in the 90s, so a
When the
futurist
internet was a fad, right?
when it was a fad, exactly. When Al Gore was still perfecting it.
Right.
Anyways, he Saul is brilliant, and
Mm.
he's knee deep in financial markets. He's knee deep in AI and everything, and also a realtor emirates, which means he's been a realtor for more than 40 years, ingrained in our industry. But
Yep.
the things that we talk about, everything's going to change.
Mhm.
Everything is going to change. I believe Gary Keller even said it. And I matter of fact, I know Gary Keller said it. I believe it was 2011 when Family Reunion was in Orlando.
Mhm.
And it was something along the lines of mega teams and teamerages of the future.
Yep.
It's going to get so expensive that an individual agent can't afford to do the business on themselves. But there's all sorts of downward pressure on fees. There's companies that, and the very own government would love to see our industry go W-2. Okay,
Oh,
so
yes.
Redfin had that model. I don't know how it worked out. That's up for debate. But eventually, I mean, 90%. I don't know the number. I'm not going to. It's a high number of agents. Um, I'm not going to say it aren't worth it. Just aren't worth it, right? They're better
Mhm.
off being hourly employees or salaried employees or something else like that. That's what they're really good at,
Mhm.
not the business ownership thing and the finding your own leads and building your own business. I don't mean this disrespectfully. I mean it with love. Salaried mindset versus entrepreneur mindset. It's a real thing. But our industry is going to get to that point, and some of these people are going to be perfectly fine making average income, but have the benefits and the flexibility of that weekly paycheck, those health
Yep.
insurance, those taxes being taken out. That's real. So if you really
Mhm.
want to stand out and survive in our industry, you need to evolve, and
Mhm.
part of that evolution is that brand of tomorrow needs to start to be built today, because tomorrow you're a day behind everybody else.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, and when we, when we formed this new company and picked that name Evolution, it wasn't because it just sounded cool. I mean, that's, the intent of this is that it is a journey. It is an evolution. And this industry, which has fought change for so long, so long, and still fights change, um, it has to evolve. The consumer isn't calling you for information on houses like they did in Saul's day when the MLS was in a book. The consumer is not even looking for you until they're ready to do something. And when they are looking for you, they're searching online. That's why Zillow catches so many leads, because when you think of the path of research, people aren't calling local agents. They're going online and looking at house prices and what to expect and all that stuff. And that's why Zillow has cast the widest net in the industry, captures everybody. And they know we as agents aren't doing that, so they can capture the lead first, sell it to us. They built an entire multi-billion-dollar business off of the fact that they know they can get to the consumer before us because we're not doing anything. And that's where our partners are actually winning, because they're getting to those consumers the same time or before Zillow does. And they're not having to write that check to Zillow because they're finding the same person before Zillow even gets a chance to sell that lead off. So, again, it goes back to putting yourself in the path of traffic where people are looking. As Gary Vaynerchuk said, always said, it's about knowing where the attention is. This is the same guy who, as a kid, didn't operate the lemonade stand. He drove around town figuring out which tree or power utility pole got the most eyes so he could hang the sign. You know, it's all about the attention. It's all about where the eyes are. And it's all about putting yourself where they are. Um, but with that said, Johnny Mo, I want to move on to another topic we've been talking about lately, where I think there's a lot of agents right now that believe in this concept. They understand that video is powerful, video is forever, personal branding's critical. It's how you stand out, and it's how you generate leads forever. But a lot of people are of the mindset of, well, I can do that myself. You know, I can research the keywords and write the scripts and film the videos and edit the videos and distribute them and run ads against them and send people to them. And in many cases, yeah, you absolutely could. And because of that, you know, we're actually offering a coaching program here, starts up in a few weeks. It's going to actually show people how to go do it for themselves. But I always come back to, is keyword research, writing scripts, editing videos, distributing videos, optimizing write-ups, is that really the best use of your skills as a team leader or a busy real estate agent? Or are you better off to let people that really know how to do that for you? So you can focus on making the videos, doing the networking, and you know, utilizing that platform to go deeper in the community. Um, it's a struggle, and I see a lot of people try to do it all. And I can tell you, when you do it all, you tend to do none of it well.
You need to know what needs to be done, and in some cases, until you should strive to not do it. You should strive to not do it. The problem why a lot of people do it is because they're broke and they don't have the money to pay somebody, because it goes back to what I said last time, is
Mhm.
they're not equipped to run a business. This is nothing new. I talk
Right.
about this since day one in the business. Michael Gerber taught me the same thing. Why do you think we have an 87% failure rate? No, you need to learn. You should have a basic understanding of what needs to be done. And as a manager of your business, you've had principles all the way here. As the manager of your business, delegate that. Find somebody to do that. Right? That doesn't
Yep.
always mean going to Fiverr. Somebody told me, "Oh, I can go to Fiverr and get it done cheaper." I'm like,
Sure.
"Go ahead. You ain't gonna get it done better. I can
Yeah.
guarantee you."
No, you're going to get
Um,
something.
but anyway, so why they do it themselves? Um, I think you need to, unless you really want to learn SEO and all these other things and HTML and stuff like that. I did out of necessity, right? But no, if your time as a business owner, as a real estate agent, should be spent on appointments
Yep.
and lead generating and closing deals. That's where your time is. That's where you get paid. You don't get paid for the other things. All you're doing is saving some money. So
Yep.
why do $20 an hour work when you can be doing $250 an hour work?
Yep. Yeah. There's a newer agent that put a post up a little bit earlier today. He's talking about, everybody's so negative about the business, and what, please, help me feel like I'm not doing the wrong thing. And of course, there are people that wanted to pick on, well, why'd you pick that brokerage? Blah, blah, blah. Their fees are high and blah, blah, blah. And, this, that, and the other thing. And did you sign up for Zillow? What, it's like, no, time out, guys. And my answer to the person was, welcome to the industry of opportunity. This industry is full of opportunity. As long as you're willing to come in, stay focused, be positive, commit to the work, and do the work. And if you do that, you will be unfairly rewarded, because that's the thing with this industry. The people that come in and do the work, and run good businesses, and build good relationships and build great personal brands, they earn an unfair amount of the market share, an unfair amount of the potential income. And that's the beauty of this business, that there's not a super high bar to be successful here. And if you're willing to do the stuff that nobody else is doing, and put yourself out there in a way nobody else is putting themselves out there, which doesn't require a ton, you will be unfairly rewarded. And not unfair in the sense it's going to be low. Unfair in the sense it's going to be almost too high for what you're putting into it. But by doing the right things and leveraging that and scaling that, building this thing the right way, you will ride that unfair advantage to a very, very lucrative career, and an opportunity to open doors to other things that you probably never even thought possible.
100%, man. And listen, something about, I just want to say this, it's making the video important, right? The asset important. Those two right there,
Yep.
each at 33% important. So we're at 66% important. The missing piece, and I get this assets all the time. Well, I'm making videos, but I'm not getting any conversions. They're
Sure.
getting engagement, not conversions.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, so you're writing blogs, you're putting the video in the blogs, you're putting them on YouTube, you're putting them on Google My Business, you're putting them in Facebook, maybe you're running an ad on them, whatever you're doing, you're using them in your newsletter. They're doing all those things.
Mhm.
Okay. The I lost my train of thought, but it was a really good one. So you got your blogs going out and stuff like that. It's the networking. Okay, that's where I was going. All these things are great, but it still comes back to the third of why you're doing all of this. You're doing all of this so you can create a relationship. At the end of the day, that's what all, whether that's a buyer, whether that's a seller, you're doing all of this so you can create a relationship.
Yep.
So don't miss that other third. And I think that's a vital third that's overlooked. Use these videos because networking is uncomfortable for people.
Yep.
Right? Not everybody, some people. I'm some people. You like it. Where are you? You on that side? You like it.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it, right?
Yep.
Partly because I'm boring to talk about and I don't want to talk about anything other than what I want to talk about, and I'm intense about it. And people make me tired. But anyways, use the video, use the blogs to position yourself other than John B. Realtor. Look how great I am with my Austin Martin, right? Position yourself differently. I'm Explore Maine Life. You're Maine Connects. I'm also Explore New Hampshire Life. As a result, I'm having conversations with the people that run Sanford downtown and the mayor up in Waterville. And I'm going to go there. I'm going to do tap into his audience. That's spear hacking on a whole nother level when you get somebody that's an influencer, right? That has a whole bunch of people following them, 50, 60, 100,000, say, hey, let's do a video together. No problem. I'll spend the day there and I'll showcase it in some small businesses and local businesses too. Why? Because I'm meeting him, but I'm meeting all of his followers at the same time. Do you understand? It's about the relationship. I can't have that relationship unless I'm making the video, you see? Make the video so I can have the relationship. I lost my train of thought, but came back stronger.
I say, yeah, you finished off strong. But I think the really important point to make in all that is that as an agent, one of the best sources of business we can have is referrals. How do you generate referral business? You got to meet people. And what we're doing is we're networking at a much higher level than most agents are. We're not just networking with the local mortgage, title, insurance people. Like we're networking with business owners, other influencers in the marketplace. I just did a couple interviews today with some vendors in the area. Or not, I sent those in yesterday that are being edited by the team to be put out there. And I'm reaching out to other business owners. I'm looking at the person that owns Lone Pine, trying to line them up to do a feature on the business and an interview with him about running a business in Maine. But what's cool about it is that a lot of people run into that wall of, I make the call and they hang up on me because I don't want to do anything right now. But we're making the call saying, hey, love your business. Would love to come in and do a feature about the business and talk to you about it. Are you interested? There's very, very seldom do they say no to that. No, I don't want you to feature me and give me a great marketing asset that I can use. Very seldom is that a no. So you go in, you meet the person, you get to know them, build some rapport, highlight their business, share it across the place, do an interview, put it on social. Like you do all these things. You give them these good marketing assets. You've made this great relationship and everybody wins. You're all seen with each other. You're all seen together. You're hacking into each other's sphere. Everybody wins. And you walk away with a new potential relationship that you continue to stay in touch with. But that's where a lot of this falls down is that people aren't going to reach out to that business owner to do the feature, but they're also not going to follow up with them down the road to check in and see how things are going. And that's where what you're doing and what we're doing is different, is the fact that we're trying to go find those people and be like, hey, how can we help you? And by doing that, we're embedding ourselves in these other little networks, other micro networks, other networks around the area that opens us up to an audience that we may never come across otherwise. But it's really, you're zigging when other people are zagging. People are writing a check to Zillow to get more leads, but instead, like, you're building a reputation and visibility in the community that you can't buy. Like, you can't pay for that. You can't pay Zillow enough money to get that.
Nope.
But because of it, now all of a sudden these videos show up on other channels with other people and sphere hacking at a crazy high level. And it just continues to build and build and build.
I have agents tagging my shit.
I know it's hilarious,
right? At Explore NH Live. Hey, thanks, buddy. You know what I mean? It's so I think that's awesome, right? Because I'm not a selfish person. I believe that if we can lift each other up, that it creates a better community, in the community of real estate agents and such like that, right? That's just, I don't know, a philosophical thing. So the fact that I got other people tagging me in the business in their property videos and stuff like that, yeah, they're spear hacking too. But I'm getting in front of their people, so I think that's pretty cool. I wrote this down a minute ago. Scared people get scared results. So if you're scared to call somebody, then you're going to get scared people results. right? If you're scared to pick up that phone, if you're scared to walk in, I hate it,
Hmm.
Harrison. You like it.
Hmm.
I hate it. So I use capital HATE exclamation point. So I use my video as that
Yep.
segue. I use that as that component. I'm great one on one. I suck at breaking the ice. I have sucked for 51 years of breaking the
Hmm.
ice, right? Um, I use the video as the icebreaker. Next thing I'm going to start doing is I have this down on my to-do list over the weekend is design a sticker that says "Explore my town." Explore Maine Life was here with a scan code, and that scan code is going to go to the Explore Maine Life tap link or one of those
Oh,
things where you can then go to TikTok, Instagram,
yep.
whatever your preferred whiz bang is, right?
Yep.
And so, and also the website, I already have it. I just need to design the sticker and the QR code or the scan code for that. That right there. Now, when I go into a place, a lot of places have the places where you can put something up. I'll say to them, "Hey, listen, I'm doing video. Can you mind if I put a sticker on?" Yeah, go ahead. As seen on, Explore Maine Life was
Yep.
here. Scan deep boop, right? Because now all of a sudden I'm getting mind share. When I start getting mind share, how many people in your market are John B. Realtor or Tina Selgood and all these other, right? It's all about them. It's all about their own. Again, we've been inculcated for the past 40 years that you're the brand, you are the brand, but
Hmm.
you're bigger than yourself. And when you look
Right.
at it as you're bigger than yourself, you'll have bigger results. So when I'm Explore Maine Life or Maine Connects or whatever, explore Hanover or explore Upper Eastern Peninsula of Maryland or explore Knoxville with Miss Regina, right? You
Yep.
become that. Explore Toledo. You become something bigger in the consumer's eyes. You now are a trusted source. So the goal is to become that trusted source. That's why it's important to put out the good blogs and the good videos. That's not all.
Yep.
Just sold another one. Who can I help?
Yep.
Hey, you ain't looking to help nobody but yourself.
Well, and let's be real. I mean, there's no secret, there's no magic to there's no real magic to what we're doing here. You meet people, you sell their house, you write an offer for them. Like there's everybody wants to be like, let me show you how I'm doing all this. You're not doing anything different than anybody else. We're all offering the same service. Just a matter of how well you provide it, how well you communicate, and how well you know people. And I think for some people, like for me, I love to network. I do love networking. I do love talking to business owners. That's my jam. So I don't, I look at this video just like you. It's my way to get to people that I would like to talk to.
100%.
For other people, you can turn yourself into a local celebrity. So if you want the vanity aspect of it, then this also works for you. Whatever path you want to head down. If you want to be a local celebrity, this works. If you want to be an activist for a social cause, you can do this. If you want to be a networker like me, you can do this. Or you could even be all three of them and use this as a platform to network and amplify your visibility in the community and also maybe help a cause that matters to you. But again, like if you don't do any of this, you can't have any of those. And that's the beauty of it, is that it's not that hard to get started. And that's why we've taken the approach of, hey, we'll show you how to do it. And this coaching program is going to have some serious heavy hitters in terms of experts that are going to be on it, to share the ins and outs. And I had to laugh yesterday. We met somebody who does a lot with SEO, and you two were talking back and forth about, Google My Business and Google Local this, and I actually got up and left the room. I'm like, I don't know what these guys are talking about, and I'm not even going to pretend to sit here and understand. I'll let them geek out for 15 minutes. I'm going to go take a walk around the building and stretch my legs, and because that's not my jam. I don't understand it. But I love the fact that we've got people in our world that know how that works and can get an insane amount of traffic to our websites, because that's all I care about. How do we get people to it? You know how to do that. Just go do that for me, because I don't. But we get insane traffic to these websites because we have experts that know what they're doing. If I did it on my own, it'd be a hot mess.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, man, that goalpost. Understand you got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Google, right? You
Oh, so
have
many.
YouTube, right? All these things. The goalpost is constantly moving on each of them, always, constantly changing,
Hmm.
right? Are you keeping up with that? Are you keeping up with the AI tools? Are you keeping up with? I mean, still, I'm going to get back to the point that AI is great. It's a great admin, but it's only a great admin if you know how to be a great manager.
Yep.
And we go back again to why so many fail, because they're not good managers.
No.
You can be the best salesperson, and this is a classic mistake that they make in all sales, cars, real estate. Just because you can sell 100 homes a year doesn't mean you're a good manager.
Yep.
And most of the time, you're actually a pretty bad manager, right?
Yep.
Because all you know how to do is sell, right?
Yep.
So when you are able to look at this and say, I can't keep up with all these changes. I don't want to keep up with all these changes, right? Because there's a lot of changes constantly. And with AI and the AI tools and things like that, that technology is moving so fast.
Yep.
So fast. It's so new, but it's moving faster than ever. We didn't have these 20 years ago. We have them now. But the stuff that AI is doing just in this 5-year, 3-year period since humans, civilians started to see it, is magnificent. And every single day there's new tools. I was exposed to a new tool yesterday I can't say nothing about yet. Absolutely amazing.
Yep.
All based upon your behaviors out there on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy what this stuff can do and where we are going. What's going to happen is, especially Gen Z, they're going to be able to buy a home on this app.
Oh, yeah.
Right here. Bam, 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 bam. Everything done right from their living room. Agents tell me that's not going to happen. Well, guess what it is? It is happening.
It will.
The company that's doing it's $1 trillion company.
Yeah,
it is happening.
It is for sure coming. There will be a day when there will be an online marketplace that we potentially are servants to, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, Johnny Mo. But at the same time, the only way to protect yourself is to continue to have that status, that personal brand, that mind share, that attention where people don't forget about you when the new whiz bang offering comes out, to use your word. But we shall see. It's say we got a few minutes here left before we gotta wrap up here, Johnny Mo. So why don't we you said I have to go?
Yeah.
I want to make one more point before we wrap up, and that is, same for you, same for me. We're not salespeople. I'm not gonna sell anybody. I'm not gonna convince anybody to do anything they don't want to do. I'm not gonna NLP you. I'm not gonna outscript you. Not my style. I'm a relationship person. I wanna meet people, build relationships, help them. I like seeing other people succeed. To me, video is the easiest way to do that, because I'm not going to cold call people. I'm not going to call FSBOs and expireds. I'm not going to try to outscript them. I'm not going to play that game. That's not how I operate. But I will create great content, meet people, and then invite them into my world. If they come, they come. If they don't, they don't. But that's how I operate. And that's where, for me, this is the easiest way to get down that path. And really, to answer that question we started with, should you be doing this all by yourself? The answer is no. No, you shouldn't do it all by yourself. Do you maybe need to start that way? Sure, maybe you do. But ultimately, when you look at what the final intent is, when you're looking to take care of your future self, do you want to leave that in the hands of experts, or do you want to do it all yourself? And that's why you look at these pro athletes like a Tom Brady. Tom Brady was surrounded by people that made him better. Coaches, players, nutritionists. Like, he had experts around him that were taking care of certain parts of his life and certain aspects of his game to make him better. He wasn't out there all by himself. He wasn't throwing the ball to himself. He wasn't going out there and winging it with no game plan developed by the coaches and no nutrition plan and no workout plan and no practice. Yeah. He wasn't just winging it. And that's what so many agents right now are doing. They are winging it. So if nothing else, at least surround yourself with experts you can get answers to. We'd love to help you out. evolutionmediagroup.com/coaching. Take a look at the program. There's going to be some incredible content that comes out of that if you want to start off doing it yourself. We also have the full scale production company behind all of that, where we can help you and we can do it for you so you can reach that next level faster. Because ultimately, we should all be in a situation where we're leveraging this sort of stuff off, because the reward is too great to move that slowly towards it. But to each their own. Some people love doing this stuff, and that's great. But I know for a fact I'm not really good at this stuff. I mean, you wrote the script for me to knock out this video because you're really good at those. And I generally know what I want to say, but I don't necessarily say it in a marketing kind of a direct way. So I'm okay saying I need help because it's not what I'm great at. But with that, Johnny Mo, let's roll into wrap up mode. What's your parting thought for today?
You mentioned winging it, and most agents are winging it.
I wasn't talking buffalo wings.
I like buffalo. I mean, I ate so bad this week though. Probably should get a salad at some point.
Maybe.
Anyways, most agents are, through my experience, they're getting in the business, and even if you're in the business, it's not hard to become top. It's hard as hell to stay there. Okay, anybody can come out the gate and sell a whole bunch of homes. Okay, because they have that renewed enthusiasm. But many agents, the lion's share of agents, are just operating to get to the next exchange. Nothing more. They're operating every day, frantic, out of control, like an elephant going downhill in a hailstorm, juggling chainsaws on a unicycle, blindfolded after they smoke some hashish. Okay,
it's an amazing analogy.
Imagine the mess, right? That's, I think, most through my experience, and I've worked with these people for 10 years, at least 10 years. And then until you get that organization and that structure and that discipline into your business, that's what it is. You're just running to the next exchange. How do you get off that exchange? By dedicating some time to the future you. That's it. What is your brand? What do you and your brand stand for? Now start putting the assets in place. You mentioned Nike earlier. Nike didn't just show up.
Right. 100%.
There are a whole lot of people. The secretary, one of the greatest stories of believing in a startup is the secretary. They couldn't pay her a whole lot of money, so they paid her in stock. And when the company went IPO, she was multimillionaire.
Yeah, that works out pretty well.
Right. So, I mean, like massively, right?
Yep.
The work of tomorrow, Nike, like I said, Nike didn't just show up. The brand of you has yet to show up. Mm-hmm. You got to show up and do the work, because it's not going to just happen because you did a dumb TikTok.
Yeah. Well, and that brand won't show up until you show up. Like, you have to actually show up and do it and commit to it.
Yeah.
So, all right. My parting thought is of something I say a lot that annoys some people. They roll their eyes at me after it because I've said it so many times. You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. And I sent an email out today to our email list, or not today, yesterday, to our email list, basically saying, did you build your business to scale, or did you build it around you? Because ultimately, you've got to look at your ambitions and your goals. If you've got big goals, you're not doing that by yourself. Don't fool yourself. Don't think for a minute you're going to do that alone. You're going to need a team. You're going to need resources. You're going to need help. If you just want to be a great local agent and make a nice income and have a great balance, then sure, you probably can do it all by yourself. But if you want to do big things, if you want to sell a lot of homes and you want to make a lot of money and you want to build an empire, as we'll call it, you're not doing that by yourself. So the sooner you realize how your goals align to your need for help, the faster you'll be able to get there. Because then you're going to realize, okay, if I do need help, where do I need help? What do I need help with? And it's important you do that exercise to take your goals and align them to how much of that you can handle. Because if you think you're gonna build an empire all by yourself, you are 1,000% dead wrong. I've seen it over and over and over again. People try to take the hill by themselves and they die on that hill because they can't. You need a team if you're going to go far. So again, you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together.
Remember this: ego can only get you so far.
Correct. Yeah, that is very, very fair. So with that, Johnny Mo, we'll wrap up for today. Hope everybody had a great week. I hope everybody has a great weekend. If you need us, reach out. Don't forget evolutionmediagroup.com/coaching. A lot of value there. If you got questions, feel free to reach out anytime. We're there to help. You can find us in the Community Leaders Real Estate or Real Estate Community Leaders Facebook group. And we'll see you all next week.